We have to get on our own resources in America. If we do, we can cut out 60% from OPEC oil.
Oil, natural gas, wind, water, solar, nuclear, industries of energy.
We've got fantastic opportunities to use new technologies to secure the American people and at the same time be better stewards of the environment.
You have questions, we have answers.
Listen carefully.
You can't really be against hydrofracking and say you're an environmentalist because immediately the default options are fuels that are much less clean.
For the next hour, Shawn Wilson explores the energy industry with news and interviews from around the corner and around the globe.
Nuclear is one of the directions that we should innovate in.
The Exploring Energy Show begins now.
And a very, very good Monday morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shawn Wilson. It's the Exploring Energy Radio Show. Glad to have you tuned in wherever you might be this morning. Hope you're having a great start to this year of 2026. Here's what's on the menu on this 5th day of January at Elk City Meals on Wheels, located at 1510 West 9th Street. Calling your order, 225-5821. Open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Regular meals, $8. Senior citizens meals, just $7. Everyone is welcome today. Smoked sausage and cabbage, baked beans, biscuit, and dessert. So smoked sausage and cabbage, baked beans, biscuit, and dessert. That's what's on the menu at Elk City Meals on Wheels. Today is Donut Monday here at the station. It's time to make your Monday sweet. Head to SK Donuts in Elk City. They got a drive-through. They're open 7 days a week, 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can call in your specialty orders, 243-9626, 243-9626. From classic glaze to cream and jelly filled, there's a treat for everyone. Your local donut spot with the freshest, fluffiest donuts in town, located at 1926 West 3rd Street in Elk City. Fresh, local, delicious. Try their kolaches. They're both affordable and delicious. Don't dread Mondays. Do not worry. Be happy at SK Donuts. It's love at first bite. And the Carnegie Library, friends, the Carnegie Library, books are a wonderful thing. If you'd like to have a free book or some books delivered to you, call them at the library, 225-0136. They're going to throw them in the old Carnegie Caravan and bring them to you in the Elk City area. And if you're having trouble reading regular print, call them and ask about their free program that can help. 225-0136, 225-0136. Well, not much happening in the world besides capturing a criminal in Maduro. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Let me give you some energy stock prices to get things started out on this Monday morning. West Texas Intermediate up 49 cents, trading at $57.81 a barrel. It's a January contract out of New York City. Brent crude oil in the ICE Futures Exchange up 44 cents to $61.19 a barrel. That's a February contract out of London. Telcom crude oil in Japan is staying static at 58,790 yen per kiloliter. It's a December contract there. And then New York Mercantile Exchange natural gas down 22 cents, trading at $3.40 per million BTU. RBOB gasoline is up 53 cents on a January contract out of the New York Mercantile Exchange to $170.35. Heating oil is up $1.85 to $213.86. And gas oil is up $10 even to $621.25 per million BTU. That's still a December contract there on the gas oil out of the New York Mercantile Exchange. Okay, well, the word I'm hearing is Maduro's capture will have little impact on the world's oil prices. The world's crude oil producers will have to wait and see what will happen to oil prices following the U.S. capture of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, on Saturday during a daring attack by the U.S. military special forces. At least one publication, Forbes, predicted there would be not much of an impact as a result of the capture. Its headline Saturday morning declared, "Don't expect an oil price spike due to Nicolas Maduro's capture." Senior contributor David Blackman expressed his opinion in a weekend piece indicating, based on what we know at the moment, the likely answer is not much. Simply put, the fear premium in crude oil prices has all but disappeared in recent years, as we saw in real time last June when the U.S. launched a massive stealth bombing run in an attempt to destroy Iran's nuclear facilities. Blackman contends that 10 years ago, oil prices would have certainly spiked due to the uncertainty that would have ruled in the markets. Instead, because of immediacy of information flow, thanks to modern technologies and other factors, that strike created a tiny blip on the screen. He claims there's only one foreseeable geopolitical event that would result in a big, immediate increase in oil prices, and that would be a shutdown on shipping traffic out of the Persian Gulf through the Strait of Hormuz. Nearly 25% of the world's crude oil supply travels out of the Persian Gulf, and a shutdown would send oil prices soaring, perhaps to record levels, as traders scrambled to secure supplies needed to fill their contractual obligations. Such an impact would, in all probability, not be likely due to Maduro's arrest, because his country, once a powerhouse in crude oil production, collapsed over the past several years under his leadership. Over the weekend, President Trump said the U.S. intends to run Venezuela until a transition in leadership can occur. The president said the U.S. will run the country until a safe, proper, and judicious transition can happen. The U.S. will also take over the country's oil industry. And we're going to, so very large oil companies will spend billions of dollars in Venezuela. The oil business has been a total bust, he told reporters on Saturday. This is again Trump. Noting the country's oil industry had been controlled by a government-run company, they were pumping almost nothing in, according to USA Today. Very large U.S. oil companies will go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, and start making money for the country. We're going to be replacing it. We're going to take a lot of money out so we can take care of the country, said President Trump. So I fully support this guy being arrested. The left is screaming. But, under the previous administration, the Brandon administration, they offered a $25 million bounty on the arrest of Maduro and then didn't do anything else about it. But they knew that this guy was not good for Americans. He was not good for America. With his cocaine factories, his fentanyl production, and just the country run by cartels, basically, and his own people having to eat out of dumpsters. I mean, people will try to paint a picture that Maduro was a great leader, but those same people are trying to paint that picture need to be finger painting up at Fort Supply. Well, I mean, I guess Fort Supply isn't that kind of a facility anymore, but you probably know what I'm getting at. Anyway, so a little bit of action there, but I know that some of the big companies that had some interest down there, and I'm talking about like the Chevrons and those kind of people like that. So the one thing that will make a difference is U.S. oil companies shares jumped today, fueled by the prospect of access back to Venezuela's vast oil reserves after President Donald Trump said the U.S. would take control of the South American nation following the arrest of its president. Venezuela holds the world's largest oil reserves, but production plummeted in recent decades due to mismanagement, limited foreign investment following the nationalization of its oil industry, and sanctions. We're going to have our very large U.S. companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country, Trump said on Saturday after American forces seized Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro from Caracas. Shares of Chevron, the only U.S. major currently operating in Venezuela's oil fields, climbed 7.3% in pre-market trading, while refiners Phillips 66, Marathon Petroleum, Valero Energy, and PBF Energy were up between 5 to 16%. Oil prices, however, were largely flat. We talked about that just a moment ago because the ample global supplies continued to weigh on the market despite the uncertainty surrounding the Venezuelan flows. Trump has said that the embargo on all Venezuelan oil exports would stay fully in effect for now. Venezuelan crude is a heavy sour with high sulfur content, making it suitable for producing diesel and heavier fuels, albeit lower margins compared with other grades, particularly those from the Middle East. This type of crude aligns well with the configuration of U.S. Gulf Coast refineries, which were historically designed to process such grades, said Aman Asari, research strategist at Pepperstone. Chevron's existing presence in the Venezuelan oil field under a U.S. waiver has positioned it as a potential early beneficiary of any policy shift, while refiners stand to gain from increased availability of heavy crude closer to home. U.S. action could also pave the way for the return of assets seized by Venezuela in 2007 under late leader Hugo Chavez. An analyst at J.P. Morgan said ConocoPhillips and ExxonMobil have significant arbitration awards pending, which have a higher chance of recovery. In total, ConocoPhillips has outstanding claims approaching $10 billion, with a B, $10 billion, while Exxon's outstanding damages appear not so much, just $2 billion. They range against their original claims that exceeded $15 billion. Shares reflected the optimism, with ConocoPhillips again raising 7.5% and Exxon up to 4.3%. Still, analysts cautioned that any meaningful recovery would likely take time, given political uncertainty, infrastructure decay, and years of underinvestment. Venezuela was producing as much as 3.5 million barrels per day in the 1970s, accounting for more than 7% of the global output. Production slid below 2 million barrels per day in the 2010s and averaged about 1.1 million barrels per day last year, or roughly 1% of global supply. So there's going to be some changes, no doubt about it. It doesn't look like, from what the analysts are saying, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, oil prices spiked up or, took a dive. The world's largest oil reserves. I hope you heard that part of it. Venezuela holds the world's largest oil reserves. But like this story pointed out, it's heavier oil, sour oil. But that's exactly what our refineries were set up to refine. But we're talking about more like the heavy fuels like diesel and those kind of things like that. So we'll wait and see how this all shakes down. But it did shake down this weekend. I thought it was kind of funny, not funny like a clown, but odd that Maduro's like, come on and get me, you coward. Uh-oh. You did? From palace to prison in 2.5 seconds. Sorry about it. You live that kind of life. You have to pay the band, baby. We're going to be back with more of the Monday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show right after this.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
You know why people like going out to eat? It's a little treat for them. They get to leave the house and go somewhere else and have somebody else cook the food and serve it to them and clean up afterward. All you got to do is pay and leave.
I know a lady that makes it at Janice's Cafe. We go out there and eat all the time. You know why? It's not at home, and it's better than what we cook. You know, one of my favorite things to eat at Janice's Cafe? The catfish. It's good. It's got the crispy breading. Oh, it's like they made it with love, with a little bit more love on top of it.
Bacon cheeseburger.
Best bacon cheeseburger in the business. Name another one.
Mushroom and Swiss.
Best mushroom burger there is ever. Janice's Cafe can make all those burgers for. Of course, they got burgers. They got the best burgers you can have.
Do you think more people drink sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Well, you know what I am.
Half and half.
Half sweet, half unsweet. Janice is located on the south side of Elk City, where you go into the movie theater, right there next to Arby's. You'll be able to find it because there's a big old sign up there that says Janice's Cafe.
It's time to make your Monday sweet. Head to SK Donuts, your local donut spot with the freshest, fluffiest donuts in town. From classic glazed to cream and jelly filled, there's a treat for everyone. And their kolaches are both affordable and delicious. SK Donuts on West 3rd Street in Elk City. Fresh, local, delicious. Don't dread Mondays. Do not worry. Be happy at SK Donuts. Open 7 days a week, 5 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Hi, I'm Mike Rowe, and it never fails. Every time I visit this state and talk to the folks in the energy business, I learn something world-changing. The technology here is bleeding edge, and so is the focus on the environment. As for the people, they're among the smartest, most innovative, most talented workers I've ever had the pleasure of meeting anywhere. They're busy keeping our modern life going. Not a bad career choice, if you ask me. See their stories at oerb.com/Mike Rowe.
You got 5-6 tractors out there. You got a dozer, a traco, a grader, something like that. I mean, you go through a lot of oil in a season. I mean, you'll use a few hundred gallons in a season. So here at Camrock, we have the same specification oil as the other brand, where people think that they have to use that for a certain color on their tractors and stuff like that. But we have the same oil specifications as they do. Works just as well, does the same thing, lubes it just the same. Price comparison is, it's not even a comparison. We have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil. They can come in and talk to us, see what they want, or give us a call, and we can come out, see what they have, fill their tanks, set them tanks. That's what we've done here in the past. We've converted a lot of farmers over to our brand, our house brand of motor diesel oil. The price savings it's huge for them. We sell it to oilfield companies also. They use it in frac pumps, and they're not happy, you know it, and it's working great for them. Camrock is the name of the company. It's 2111 South Main, Elk City, south of Fred's Steakhouse. The price savings it's huge for them.
Find the all-new Ariat FR jeans, pullover shirts, and button-ups at Circle A Western and Outdoor in Elk City, your FRC headquarters.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
This show brought to you in part by ASCO Equipment, 513 West 20th Street here in Elk City. If you're looking for heavy equipment for sale or rent in Oklahoma, their new and pre-owned construction equipment fits your needs and your budget. ASCO is a leading provider for the Oklahoma construction, ag, and energy sectors, proudly serving the Elk City area with construction equipment like tractors, backhoes, wheel loaders, cranes, dozers, excavators, forklifts, compactors, pavers, skid steers, CTL, and more. And when you partner with ASCO, their equipment repair shop ensures quick and efficient heavy equipment repair and construction equipment maintenance. Additionally, our team of employees and fleet of field service trucks are ready to roll to your job site to assist you in construction equipment repairs or maintenance 24/7. No matter what heavy machine your job or project requires, ASCO can provide equipment solutions. ASCO represents like Case Construction, Case IH, Caterpillar Lift Truck Line, Crown, Bobcat, Genie, Hitachi, JCB, Mitsubishi. They'll come and work on your equipment no matter when you bought it, what brand it is, or who you bought it from. ASCO Service Department, over 200 factory-trained certified technicians on staff, 140 field service trucks, $21 million worth of parts. Talk about affordable rental rates, and we're going to have E.J. Gredeman as our featured guest with ASCO tomorrow. Look forward to that. They offer equipment rental options with daily, weekly, monthly payments, affordable rates. Yeah. How about rent to own? Talk to them. If it seems like it's too expensive, talk to them about it. See what they have to say. It's a family-owned company. Equipment sales, talk to Bart Shields. He'll come out and tell you how much your equipment's worth, what's worth for to trade in, and equipment rental E.J. Gredeman. Branch managers Jeremy Bridgman. It's all at ASCO, 323-3422, online, ASCOEQ.com, 513 West 20th Street, the Elk City location, one of 27 throughout Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico. And Fred's Steakhouse, your destination for fresh USDA graded beef, ribeyes, New York strips, filet mignon. Sirloins are hand-cut daily by the in-house butcher. Fred's is home of the $4.99 chicken fried steak, served daily, hand-battered country gravy, house-made mashed potatoes. They have numerous side options available, along with fresh salads, soup of the day, freshly baked rolls made daily in their in-house bakery. 7 kinds of chicken, maybe seafood, that's what you crave, or freshwater catfish, fish tacos. They have it a lot. Fred's also has appetizers sure to please everyone. Wood chips, fried pickles, cheese, curds, mushrooms, Rocky Mountain oysters, to name a few. Then you can cap off your dining experience with fresh in-house made desserts, all at Fred's. With their full-service bar, your favorite cocktails, specialty drinks, wines, and ice-cold beer. Fred's can host your private event if you wish. Located at 2107 South Main Street in Elk City. Call 243-2100, 243-2100, or order online on the Chow Now app. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Fred's Steakhouse. They've been with us a long time on this show as well. Okay, back to her here. The pipeline situation that we talked about. Energy Transfer is now weighing an NGL to gas line conversion as Permian gas demand surges. So Energy Transfer is evaluating whether to repurpose one of its Permian Basin natural gas liquids pipeline for natural gas service, a move that could capitalize on rising gas demand and shifting market economics, according to the East Daily Analytics. The company has not publicly identified the pipeline under review, but East Daily analysts point to the West Texas Gateway system as a likely candidate. Management indicated during Energy Transfer's third quarter of the 2025 earnings call that converting an NGL line to gas service could generate roughly twice the revenue compared with the liquids transport, reflecting weak NGL natural gas liquid tariffs and stronger gas fundamentals. If pursued, the conversion would align with a broader industry push to expand Permian gas takeaway. So that's definitely something that they're looking at. But these pipeline companies, they understand that it's we got to have the infrastructure. But what I thought was interesting when I was researching for the show was how they're going to drop the liquids, the natural gas liquids, and go to just natural gas, which is going to be pretty good stuff right there. So it's one of those deals that you got to continue to move forward. If not, you're going to get left behind. Of course, I'm having the Monday morning computer not responding situation. But back to this, the natural gas deal. You're seeing more and more pipelines getting put into the ground. You're seeing more and more situations to where there are going to be more and more pipelines refurbished. You're going to see more and more getting put in the ground. And this Permian, and before they were just flaring all that gas off. I remember one time seeing a satellite image from up in the Williston area where they were flaring off that natural gas, and you could actually see it from space. It was that big of a deal. So I know that it's something to where, the methane rules came in, and that was a big part of it. But I also think that the company started realizing that, hey, we're just venting money right into the air. Maybe we need to jump back and take a look at that a little bit and find out what's going on. So maybe we can capitalize on that deal a little further down the road, because it's definitely money that was, just being flared off. But, if you don't have anywhere to go with it, no place to capture it, and after you do capture it, where are you going to sell it if you don't have pipelines running to you, if you don't have meter houses to meter the gases leaves your location, it's going to be tough. Well, some oil executives were quizzed on capital spending. Okay, this was the deal here that, the Federal Reserve Bank. Okay, oil and gas executives answered questions on capital spending and workforce changes in a special question segment of the fourth quarter on the Dallas Fed Energy Survey. In this agreement, participants were asked what their expectations were for their firm's capital spending in 2026, versus 2025. Executives from 124 oil and gas firms answered these questions, with 26% answering increased slightly, 24% answering remain close to 2025 levels, 20% answering decreased significantly, 19% answering decreased slightly, and the remaining 11% answered increased significantly, according to this survey. So it's one of those deals where that's a pretty big percentage of those saying that decreased significantly. So I'm going to, like I said, my old computer just running slower than a 7-year itch. I'm going to take a break, try to get this thing sped up a little bit, kick it right in the old CPU, see if we can't get her going. I'll be right back with more of the Monday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show in a moment.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
We did the Veterans Monument in Oklahoma City. At the time we did it, they didn't want any names on it. They were just doing the different wars in bronze panels on granite. 20 years later, they decided they want all the veterans' names on the back of the monument. Well, there's no way to engrave it, so they wanted to put bronze names on there. We said, you can't, that won't work well. They ended up finding someone that would put the bronze names on there, and then they started kind of popping off and everything. So then they called us to go in and see how we could clad it and get the names on it after the fact. So there's just things that come up in the granite industry. You have to investigate and figure out how to fix it or create it. Some things you just won't do, but there's projects that are nice out there that not everybody will have a hand in, will want to have a hand. Willis Granite Products. Our website is willisgranite.com.
Thank you just doesn't seem to be enough. There are lots of places to buy cars and lots of places to have them serviced. We are really humbled by the trust you placed in us at Barbara Dice Ford last year. We don't take it for granted. You're the reason we had a terrific 2025. It was all because of you, and thank you for that. If you need us in 2026, we'll still be in the northeast part of Elk City and online at barbadysonford.net. We'd be honored to serve you this year.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive current automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with delicious low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping when you text IQ Bar to 64,000. Text IQ Bar to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's IQ Bar to 64,000.
Hey folks, this is EJ Gretaman with ASCO Equipment out of Elk City, Oklahoma. If you need rental equipment, I got your back. From excavators to wheel loaders, telehandlers, and forklifts, we rent the brands that you know and trust. With flexible terms, responsible service, and expert support, we're here to keep your job on track. Need equipment? We're on it here at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com or stop by our Elk City branch, 513 West 20th here in Elk City, Oklahoma, or you can just give me a call, 580-243-9233. Appreciate it, folks, and y'all have a blessed day.
A guy in Altus buys an RV from a fellow in El Reno. The transaction came about through the penny news. The power of the penny news is a force of nature.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Exploring Energy brought to you in part by Camrock Supply. Farmers use a lot of oil every season. Oilfield companies use a lot of oil all the time. Camrock's oil has the same specification, lubricates the same as the designer brands. Camrock's oil costs a whole lot less. That's what we're talking about. Costs a whole lot less. Folks who use a lot of oil save a lot of money with Camrock. Camrock Supply on South Main Street in Elk City next to Fred's Steakhouse. CamrockSupply.com. Locations in Elk City, Oklahoma City, Midland, Texas, Ulysses, Kansas. Local guys with local ties doing business with their community. And to keep yourself making money, your equipment and your machinery has to keep running, no matter what it is. If you have a hose that develops a pin, just a pinhole or complete blowout, you're shut down. American Hose and Supply, they'll help get your equipment up and running or keep it running and making money. American Hose and Supply inside the Camrock building next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City. High pressure, low pressure, different diameters. Also, they can crimp pipe ends on your hoses. Call them, 303-1123, 303-1123, American Hose and Supply. Go to those who know hose. Let me try this thing again. Okay. It looks as if we had this New Jersey truck driver. He's been sentenced to nearly 2 years in federal prison after illegally dumping thousands of gallons of gasoline in Pennsylvania. A reckless act that caused widespread environmental damage, killed wildlife, and forced the closure of a local elementary school. The case underscores how fuel transportation violations can carry serious criminal consequences and leave long-lasting environmental scars. The incident occurred in Brookhaven, Pennsylvania back in 2021 when George Smith, 41 years old, was transporting 8,500 gallons of gasoline in a tanker truck. According to Delaware County officials, Smith was scheduled to make multiple deliveries that day, with a Brookhaven gas station intended to be his fourth stop. Instead, Smith arrived at the Brookhaven station first, despite the underground tanks being unable to accept the full load. Well, modern fuel trucks include safety systems that prevent drivers from continuing deliveries when excess fuel remains in compartments. Rather than rerouting to another station for a partial delivery, Smith made a deliberate decision to dump approximately 4,000 gallons of gasoline down an embankment near the site. Yikes. The illegal dumping caused significant contamination of soil and nearby waterways. According to court records and local reports, wildlife in the area was killed and cleanup efforts stretched on for months. One of the most severe impacts was the forced closure of Coburn Elementary School, which remained shut for the rest of the school year due to safety concerns stemming from fuel contamination. The spill required extensive remediation efforts that officials said will likely take years to fully complete and will cost millions of taxpayer dollars. Okay, so you got a guy that dumps that much fuel that close to an elementary school. Yeah, I think that's deserving of some time behind bars. Like I said, I could be wrong, but that's still pretty damning evidence right there. You know, the wildlife deal, not sure about that, but then they had to shut that thing down for a year. Who knows, man? I'll tell you right now, I am having trouble on the computer side of things here. Yes, I just went completely dark here. I think it's a little bit of internet connection. Maybe that's the case. I'll just open up my Amazon account and check on a few of my just teasing. But no, it's one of those deals where it always happens. You know, it's a Monday. And let's try this. Just bear with me a little bit here. Let's see. Let's do that. Let's go to this. Because that, what I was talking about a while ago about the companies trying to determine, you know, how much, what they're going to do in 2026. I thought that was an interesting story. And that, of course, that's right when my computer crashed. But I'm going to go back to it. From this survey, executives from 124 oil and gas firms answered this question. 26% answering increased slightly. Okay. This is their capital spending and workforce changes in this coming year. Executives said that 20% or 24% answered remain close to their 2025 levels. 20% answering decreased significantly. 19% answered decreased slightly. And the remaining 11% answered increased significantly. Responses varied widely among executives, the survey noted. The survey also pointed out that responses differed depending on the firm's size and type. Remain close to 2025 levels was the most selected response from executives at large, E&P, the exploration, 5%, whereas the most selected response from executives at small exploration and production firms was increased slightly, 29%, according to the survey. More executives, 48% of them at oil and gas support services firms expect their firm's capital spending in 2026 to decrease relative to the number of executives anticipating an increase. It continued. These are the support service firms. The fourth quarter Dallas Fed Energy Survey highlighted that E&P, exploration and production firms, were classified as small if they produce fewer than 10,000 barrels per day, and large if they produce 10,000 barrels per day or more. Responses came from 69 small firms and 17 large firms. The survey pointed out executives from 86 E&P firms and 38 oil and gas support service firms answered the questionnaire, the survey showed. In the U.S., small E&P firms are greater in number, but large E&P firms make up the majority of production, more than 80%. The fourth quarter Dallas Fed survey noted the special questions segment of the survey also asked participants what WTI crude oil price their firm is using for capital planning in 2026. Executives from 119 oil and gas firms answered the question and gave an average response of $59 per barrel. Survey showed, highlighting that the median and mode responses came in at $60 per barrel. Some of the workforce changes, the special questions segment went on to ask participants how they would expect the number of employees of the company to change from December 2025 to December of this year, 2026. Of the 126 oil and gas firms answering the question, 57% answered remain the same. So about 60% said we're not changing anything. 17% said increase slightly. 17% answered decrease slightly. 6% answered decrease significantly. And 3% answering increase significantly, the survey revealed. Among the executives at the E&P firms, 61% remain the same on keeping their employees. 15% answered, they'll decrease a little. 14% said increased a little. 7% decreased significantly, and 3% answered increase significantly. So 47% of executives from service firms answered remain the same. Okay, so it's down a little bit from the E&P. Executives from 88 exploration and production firms and 38 oil and gas support services firms answered the questions according to the survey. It says the Dallas Fed states on their website that it conducts the Dallas Fed's energy survey quarterly to obtain a timely assessment of energy activity among an oil and gas firms located or headquartered in the 11th District. The 11th District encompasses Texas, northern Louisiana, southern New Mexico, the site highlights. So that is what these guys had to say on their big questionnaire. I think it's a great idea to do this quarterly. Like it says, to kind of get a handle on what it is the oil and gas industry, the market dictates. I thought it was interesting that the E&P, even the large and the small, were up around 60% of them were going to remain the same. And so that's not bad news when you're looking at looking at forward. Now, I was told, and we'll wait and see if this is the truth, but that there was going to be a lot of capital expenditure right here in western Oklahoma. A lot of companies going to come in and start punching some holes, going after oil and natural gas. So we'll wait and see if that does happen. I just know that I've been told by more than one person that they expect that to be the case. So we'll wait and see exactly how that all works. But the oil and gas industry, it's going to be here. It's there for a while. It was the boom and bust. Now it's more of a, yin and yang, more of a, peaks and valleys, and not just the last person out of Elk City turn out the lights kind of thing that we had back in the 80s with the collapse of Penn Square Bank and all that perfect storm in the oil and gas industry. I don't think we're going to see that again, because right now, too many people rely on what the oil and gas industry produces. The plastics, the electricity, the pharmaceuticals, all the things that the oil and gas industry and clothing have, that people fail to understand what it is that it brings to the table to each and every one of our daily lives. It's going to be here. There's no way we can completely stop what we're doing. There's not a chance. Now, there are going to be slowdowns. There's going to be upticks, downticks. But I don't think this boom and bust situation is going to be like it once was. Now, I did a story earlier in this segment talking about, the geopolitical pressures on the Straits of Hormuz, that would probably cause a spike. There were a lot of people that thought, the United States invaded Venezuela. That's not what we did. We had a police action. We, arrested the guy that was in charge of a lot of issues. So it's whichever side of the fence you're on, you got to look at what's best for the American people. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to do. I am going to attempt to take another break and be back with the mop-up segment of the Monday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio right after this.
The Exploring Energy Show.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping when you text IQ Bar to 64,000. Text IQ Bar to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's IQ Bar to 64,000.
Craving a real steak? Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City is firing up flavor 7 days a week. The grill is always hot and the steaks are always fresh. From juicy char-grilled ribeyes, fillets, and sirloins to chicken fried steak, hearty burgers, seafood, and chicken, there's something for everyone. Don't forget the appetizers, salads, and desserts to top it off. Bring your appetite. We'll handle the rest. Dine in or order online now on the DoorDash app. It's more than just a steakhouse. It's Fred's.
They're expecting me to get whatever task done. To a farmer, a tractor, combine, gets them up and running. He's back in the field, makes some money. Guy in the oil field, their piece of equipment's running again. That makes some money. Solves that problem. I'm Brock Kalk, and my company is American Hose and Supply. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings, oil field or agriculture. So if your farmer need a hose built, you can come in, we'll build it. You're a oil field customer and need us to come out and see you, we'll come out and see you and take an order or pick up a hose, build it, bring it back to you. If we're competitive on price, we say we'll bring it to you, we'll do whatever it takes to get it to you, make life easier on you, or you can call us to solve a problem. Hey, can you get this? Why wouldn't you? American Hose and Supply, 2111 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, in Camrock Building next to Fred's.
Or call 303-1123. 303-1123.
Why wouldn't you?
Oklahoma, safety starts with you.
If you see something, say something with the free and anonymous Protect OK app. Whether it's a threat to one of our schools, a public safety concern, or a disturbing post on social media, your tip can help prevent crime and keep our schools and communities safe.
Download Protect OK today, because protecting Oklahoma is everyone's responsibility. Available free on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Funded by the Oklahoma Office of Homeland Security.
Restaurants and feedlots, coffee shops and cafes, grocery stores and convenience stores. The Penny News is there, waiting for you to take it home.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
Okay, well, I'm going to just keep going like we got her going on. This show brought to you in part by David Allen Guest, Certified Mineral Manager. If you need help managing your minerals and royalties, David Allen Guest, he's your guy. He's been doing it for himself and others for nearly 40 years now, or actually over 40 years. So, again, we are one of those deals to where, hey, David Allen Guest is a guy you can trust, a guy you'll be glad you're doing business with. And he can get you the most out of your royalties. You hear that part? Get you the most out of your royalties. That's the real deal. You can call David, 405-341-8698. You know, and if you're in that situation where you've got to try to sell, then you know what? David's one of those guys that's not going to take advantage of you. You know, he is going to lead you down the right path, not to take advantage of you. He buys royalties from estates, probates, trusts, and bankruptcies. Call David Allen Guest, certified mineral manager, today, 405-341-8698. Or look him up on the intraweb. So, energy. There we go. All right. Let's get to your weather forecast. Brought to you by, well, let's see. First of all, let me tell you this. SOAR, Sustaining Oklahoma's Energy Resources. Got some educational opportunities coming up here. Tier 2 reporting, January the 14th. January the 14th, it's a Zoom meeting. It's the Right to Know Act, Tier 2 reporting program emphasizing when and how facilities must report hazardous chemical inventories. If this interests you, go to www.soer.oerb.com. Click on Producers Education at the top, and then it will give you a drop down and it says Workshops. Click on that and you're in. SPCC training, January the 29th, 11 a.m. Zoom meeting. Oil spill prevention, control and countermeasure, SPCC plan. That's a Zoom meeting, 11 a.m. on January the 29th. Again, go to www.soer.oerb.com. That's SOAR, SOER.oerb.com. If your power goes out at midnight, you can call Carter Electric. They provide 24-hour emergency electrical service. Want to make sure your power stays on? Well, you know what? They are an authorized Generac generator dealer. Irvin and Mary Orgain, they're the owners. They're the ones who help you see the light of day even at night. They own Carter Electric. A lot of electric work goes on overhead. Carter Electric has pole trucks, man lifts. They get way up high if there's a problem up there. Licensed, insured, trusted. It's Carter Electric. You can call them at 225-2447, 225-2447. Okay. So what I'm going to give you here is some highs and lows. Today, 76 degrees by 3 p.m. Winds 12 to gust to 23 from the southwest. Tomorrow, 67 the high, 45 the low. Wind speeds 9 to 19 miles per hour. Wind direction from the north tomorrow, so cooling down just a tad. 67 on Wednesday, and 67 the high on Wednesday. And they're looking for a 10% chance of precipitation Wednesday. Thursday, a 40% chance of precipitation. Less than half an inch of precipitation is possible, but still, you're saying a chance. So Thursday has 40% chance according to this weather forecast. So that's what I say. Come on Thursday. Some more temperatures here. Friday, 49. Going to start cooling off a little bit. 34 the low Friday. 10% chance of rain. Saturday, a 52 degree high. 30 degree low. 10% chance of rain then. Sunday, also 51 degrees high. 26 low. 10% chance of rain on Sunday. Monday, 10%. Tuesday next week, 10%. Wednesday, 10%. So there is some possibility of some showers in our area in the coming days. That's good stuff. We most definitely need rain around here. In fact, we're in a red flag alert for, just being able to go out there and do our thing, man. Let's see here. I'm going to accept all of those. And I'm going to come in here to this. Yeah, just give me a little bit of time today, for crying out loud. We get really dependent on these computers. And then you got it. Okay, here's some energy news in my briefs. Danish renewable energy giant Ørsted filed suit Thursday against the Department of Interior because it paused its lease on a $5 billion offshore wind farm in Rhode Island. Ørsted's Revolution Wind project is 87% complete and is expected to be ready to deliver reliable, affordable power to American homes this year, the press release said. Giant trucking company J.B. Hunt Transportation, Inc. closed its facility at the Home Depot Distribution Center in Lithonia, Georgia, on October 27th of last year. And U.S. Postal Service trucking contractor 10 Roads Express revealed plans to end its mail hauling business and shut down all operations by the end of this January this year. Tesla reported a bigger than expected fall in fourth quarter deliveries on Friday and posted a second straight decline in annual sales as it struggled to whip up demand for its electric vehicles following the withdrawal of tax subsidies. California has delayed its cancellation of thousands of commercial driver's licenses held by immigrants. Delayed its cancellation, by the way. Setting it up for another showdown with Washington, the Department of Motor Vehicles announced that 17,000 migrant truck drivers whose licenses had been revoked can now keep them for 60 more days, which could enable the drivers to retake tests and do whatever is necessary to remain legal. Like learn English? Come on. Here's some from around the world. Ukraine launched drone attacks on Russian oil facilities overnight, hitting a fuel depot in the Kaluga region. Russian telegram channels reported on Thursday the Lysky refinery in southern Russia was also attacked again, they said. There was initially no official confirmation of the strikes. Russia reportedly has asked the White House to end the U.S. Coast Guard's effort to seize an oil tanker in the Atlantic Ocean after the crew of the vessel painted a Russian flag on the side of the ship. Also, Luma, the company responsible for operating Puerto Rico's electric transmission and distribution system, announced on November 6th the arrival of the largest and highest capacity transformer in the island's history. The transformer to be installed at the Sabana Liana Transmission Center in Carolina will directly impact more than 200,000 customers and indirectly benefit more than 700,000 customers by reinforcing the grid and providing greater stability to prevent large-scale outages. South Korea's move to kill coal will almost certainly have repercussions on two of the largest industry energy customers. Australia and the United States. A decision on the polluting fossil fuel was made at the COP30 climate conference in Brazil, when South Korea's Ministry of Climate, Energy, and Environment announced plans to retire most of their country's coal-fired power plants by 2040 and to at least cut in half its carbon emissions by 2035. 40 of the plants already have confirmed closure dates. Officials in Germany were scaling back their plans to develop more natural gas-fired power plants as the government wants to continue its path toward decarbonization. This is in Germany, while also recognizing the need to back up renewable power generation with baseload units and not depend on those intermittent power supplies. Germany and some of those countries over there, man, they're kind of having to sleep in the bed they made. I'm not going to be able to give you energy stock prices of local interest because I cannot get this black screen of death to get off this computer here in the studio. However, here's some Paragon TV, ParagonTV.com coverage updates as their small schools basketball will kick right back into high gear starting tomorrow night, January the 6th. 6 p.m. it's Merritt at Navajo. 6:30 p.m. Beaver at Leedy. Arapahoe Butler at Sweetwater. That's boys only. Sentinel at Cheyenne Raiden and Canute at Arnett. These are all 6:30 game times tomorrow. 7:30 p.m. Navajo at Merritt boys. 8 p.m. of course Sentinel at Cheyenne Raiden, Canute at Arnett, and Beaver at Leedy. Tournament play runs January 8th through the January 10th. Arapahoe, Butler, and Cheyenne Raiden are in the Western Equipment Classic. Merritt and Canute compete in the Merritt High School Tournament. Hammond and Sentinel play in the Warrior Classic. Leedy heads to the Oil Center Tournament in Woodward, and Erie competes in the Cotton Belt Tournament. You can watch live or on demand, ParagonTV.com. It's just $9.99 a month, and you can watch the Classics 24/7 without any cost. Available anytime. It's ParagonTV.com's basketball coverage. Big Elks host Anadarko tomorrow, 6 o'clock for a home doubleheader. The Elkcats tip off at 6:30. Big Elks to follow at 8. Elk City also has the weather for tournament later in the week. We'll have that information for you as it becomes available. Big Elk TV and ParagonTV.com. I'm Shawn Wilson. Thanks so much for listening. I promise we'll talk again. Have yourself a great day.